Uh-oh.
Kamisha Reviews.
Hey, it's me, your girl Cynthia Bailey, and I've been hanging out with your girl, the queen of reality TV.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to Kamisha Reviews, the queen of reality TV. Yes, I am super late. Not super late, but I am late because your girl has to work, unfortunately. All right. Give me the rundown. My best recap queen.
Well, this episode was kind of boring, but it
It
had
was.
its moments. But anyways, so basically they open up and Jay states Ty and they rated the couples. And then Jay was like, Ty and Brittany can also leave. And then
Girl.
Ty was explaining his date with Brittany to the fellas. And then Jared tells Brittany she's not attracted to Ty, and she says she's getting friend vibes. And then Jared tells the fellas he has to have a talk with Charlie before his sister arrives. And then Jared tells Charlie he wrote F no and his plan is to lead her on, but his feelings change day to day, yada yada yada, F boy stuff. Then his sister doesn't know about all her other kids, and Charlie feels disrespected, embarrassed, and that he's wasting her time. And then Brittany and Charlie discuss the Jared conversation. Chris and the lady do a therapy session. Chris talks about his childhood trauma with control issues. Jared's sister arrives. Charlie's best friends arrive. That lady plans a date for her and Chris to go boxing. Charlie and Jared meet their peoples. And then there's the whole why hide everything conversation. And then the date with Chris and the lady, they have a good date, and then they do another game at dinner with these like random questions. And then the question for Brittany was her and Ty sexually compatible. She says yes to respect his feelings. He said no because he can't even get a decent kiss. All hell breaks loose. Then they have some words in the kitchen, and Brittany's putting her fingers in his face. Then on the next episode, Kiki reveals her secret to Brandon. Jay and Cinco discuss the logistics of being together. And then Jay tells Brittany she's there to meet everybody else's man but her own. And then she's going to look like a promiscuous whore when the episodes air. And then she can leave.
Baby, they say the last one, it's going to be spicy. Okay? I don't know why I hear an echo. Not sure what's going on with that. But anyway, so I put this picture because my girl sent this picture to me. I'm happy she did. That was a hot ass mess. Now, I will say that the one they have on top, I do agree with, but I guess Charlie and Jared would be second. I guess it's accurate. What do you think? What do you think?
I think, honestly, uh, it's somewhat accurate. I might interchange Kiki and Brandon with Chris and the lady.
Right.
But
I agree
that's
with that
only
too.
because we know that's fake.
Right. Wait, because like it tripped me out when they said we haven't had a date since the first episode. I'm like, get the what? I didn't really pay attention that much, but he said we haven't had a date since the beach. I'm like, child, I can't. So
Well, ain't nobody went on no date.
except for Ty and Brittany, which that was a fail.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and get into the beginning of it when they were okay. I know they were all the little games they're playing for one thing. I don't know what's going on with all that, but Jared's sister coming in, I don't know. I felt like somebody from home reminded him to wake up. Like I'm in fa la la, like this the title says, land, and we need to get back to reality, which is I don't want you. What you think?
Um, I think a lot of times people are, like you said, in la la land. And then when you sit down and you explain your situation to someone else and you actually say the words out loud, you be like, damn, what the hell was I thinking?
And that's a sister. So your sister is really gonna tell you, and she did. I did like the way she talked to Charlie, even though she gave her to her real, but at the end, she gave her that positive whisper in her ear, don't let people. I like what she had to say. Now, let's go to the conversation that he has with Charlie about I put hell. Was it hell no? What was it that he said when they
F
said
no.
F no? Okay, so everybody was going like ooh and ah and all this because he said that, right? And I get it. I do get it.
It's
But
a little extra.
it's a little.
You
I thought it
could
was a
just
little bit
said
extra.
no.
Right. You could just said no. But my thing is this: nobody really said a definite yes. Not really. It was always because it was the first day. That question to me should not be asked on the first day. So to me, I think a lot of them should get a pass because even though y'all been talking for however whatever year, 4 months, whatever it is, you're still meeting in person. It's not the same as talking on a phone, on a computer, seeing only your head, maybe some nasty little pictures here and there. You know what I'm saying? It's just not
Right.
enough till you see that full, like, oh shit, I didn't know he had a gut. I didn't, I'm just being honest. I'm just
Right.
being very honest. So I will say about the lady and Chris situation, the therapy session, and but first I want you to give me your thoughts about that first. I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead. What are your thoughts about what I was talking about as far as Jared and her?
I've
Period.
been saying he was an F
You
boy, and
did,
we
you
all know
did.
he wanted to hit it and quit it. And then he tried to say things, saying, "Well, my feelings change day to a day. Like some days, I went from an F no to a maybe to a
Mm,
yes, back to a maybe, and don't be sending me mixed signals, right?" And even like the sister said, like and the way he played it to his sister and the way it really happened really made me mad because it made it seem like Charlie was the one in La La Land by herself.
right.
When in actuality, she's like, no, I didn't expect that. But he's the one saying it's cool and it's not cool. And I know it's not cool, but that's what he's saying. But you know
Exactly.
how we do sometimes.
Hmm.
In the moment, you want to keep the peace and sweep it under the rug until the bump gets so big under the rug you tripping over it, and which is
Look.
kind of expedited to where we are right now. That
Hmm.
the outsiders, not outsiders, but outside the home, are coming in, giving you a different perspective, making you see through clearer lenses, which you had already saw, but lust, like
Hmm.
horniness, whatever, you was putting your morals and critical thinking skills to the side just to get some bang bang.
Because to me, I feel like they both was in the bang bang. I just felt she, for because she know good and well he didn't forget about it or it's cool. No, y'all wanted to get y'all freak on in the house. Y'all adults, it's no
But
thing.
no, but even I mean, she like you see, she knew, but we always talking about, well, believe what a man says because you'll
Right.
be like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't want a relationship, but whining and dining you, vacation you, to meet everybody in his family, but he's still saying, I don't want a relationship. So
Mm-hmm.
he's sitting up there like, yeah, it's cool. I gotta drop my bomb too, boo boo boo, whatever. So you can only do so much when you're being lied to and hoodwinked and bamboozled.
Mm-hmm. Mm. So I want to ask you a question about Brittany. I
Hmm.
want to talk about her for a minute. Now, we all have been saying this whole entire time, Brittany doesn't like Ty. Not in that way. I think that
Right.
maybe that they became
She's
pen
not
pals, best friends.
revolted by him, but
No, yes, yeah, I
she's
agree with
not
that.
trying to be with him neither.
I think that when she and even the weird thing for me is this. I get it, like I said before, you don't see them full body, full whatever, but you still see them for years on camera. So even though you may not get to see them, like I said, the full physical body or whatever, but you still look at that same face for years. So I still don't understand, baby, how you did not realize before, and I'm not sure how long they've been dating, that you did not realize you weren't attracted to him because you're
Well,
not.
and here's the thing. I don't know what because it looks like from the little video clips they show when they would be like on on FaceTime or some type of video call together. It's not even about from the neck up or the
Mm-mm.
neck down or whatever. It's almost like I'm gonna go on this show so we can get a bag, but then you get there and you see
Mhm.
other things. You know what I'm saying? Like
I do.
when you meet a guy and you be like, yeah, he's so cool, and y'all kind of hooking up or whatever, lightweight, and then he invites you to the cookout, and you be like, damn, he got more fine homeboys. I shouldn't have. Good.
You
And,
stupid.
and so that's where she didn't felt she at the little club at the house feeling like she didn't brought sand to the beach. However, that
Ah.
sand belonged to somebody else, girl.
Okay, okay, okay. So We gonna yes, because this is the thing about it. If you like you just said, if you have a fake situation going on or a question mark or whatever, you're going to a house with other couples. You are gonna look at other people. That's just But for her, she was looking like, okay, I'm here, but let me go ahead and see what I can play with. That's what I felt like. So I
Mhm.
felt like I'm gonna ask you this question about Jay. I feel like Jay had it out for her. I don't know what week there was. It was beginning of the season where she was like saying something because she was watching her and play with somebody else. Or she said something to somebody. I can't remember who it was. So Jay been on that. She's been
She
irritated
clocking
with
it.
her. No, I'm saying she clocking it. But I'm saying but so when this blow up happens, to me, I kind of feel like I don't feel that bad for Brittany. No shade. No shade. The reason why I don't is because Jay could have been said something and she chose not to. I don't know what prompted that for her to go off like that. I'm pretty sure missing pieces missing. I don't know. Brittany does not give me confrontational though. So I don't know
Yeah.
if Jay was just like frustrated and just said,
Yeah,
I'm
I think
done.
so.
Is she wrong in your opinion?
No, I don't think so because it
No.
was
I'm saying, is she wrong for doing this? Jay.
no.
Oh, wow.
Because I don't know if it was last week or the week before the one where they had the episode where they were talking about her physicality with Ty, and they showed clips of her being playful with other dudes, and we had a whole conversation about how you out here tickling this man and laughing and joking and putting your hand on this man while you laughing, and you can't even kiss your man. You know what I'm saying? Now if
Mhm.
you was just an overly affectionate person with
Right.
your man, even the ladies, like when y'all laughing or you walk in the room, hey girl, and you hugging on everybody, like, okay, she's an
Got you.
affectionate person,
Got
but
you.
you're not.
I
So
think she won't
therefore, when
Cinco.
you touch other people, it's for other reasons.
I think she won't Cinco. And I'm not gonna lie to you, he's very attractive. His hair is really nice. I know that's
He's a
Cinco, right?
very handsome man.
He
He is.
is. I think she saw Cinco and was like, damn. Because look, this is, and I like Ty, right? But remember when you discussed this last time where I said that some women don't like, not all women like a guy that's the funny guy in the room. Not because those
And he
guys
got a
good
dad
women.
bod. And ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm not being disrespectful or
No,
nothing.
and the
But
women are attracted to that too. Yes, ma'am.
here's the thing. Y'all know I have said it took me a long time to figure out I'm not my type's type. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
So if Brittany had a type and she kicking it with Ty because maybe that's all she could get at the moment or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then she come to the house and she see her type.
Mm. Mm. Now that makes a lot of sense. I feel like she came in the house and she seen Cinco and was like, "Oh shit!" Because every time I saw Cinco and she was near him,
Hmm.
she was always on him. Now I like how Jared kind of clocked her. Jared
Oh,
is a
for
hot mess.
real.
That
And
was
I was shocked for that because I was
me
like,
too. I wasn't
you in a
ready
jacked up ass situation, but you clocking his teeth like for real, for real.
because look, let's talk about the kitchen situation, right? Now, I'm so tired of damn games. Like if you was not be with a person in the bed since you've been in the house, how do you think you guys would rate whatever? Anyway, Ty answered honestly only because Brittany took so long to answer. Brittany would have been honest and would have just said no. You know what I'm saying? And then he would
Right.
have said no because he said himself, we are not on the same page.
Mm-mm.
And
When you can't force something if the chemistry
it's
ain't
not
there.
there. But I just thought it was handled so ghetto. Like, okay, y'all. So Brittany does kind of move away from and like I said to you, everyone is not confrontational, and I could tell that's not her bag. It's not her lane. And
Well,
Ty
and her
really,
feelings was hurt.
okay. Now look, I'm sorry, Brittany. I don't understand why your feelings were hurt. I'm
I
sorry.
do.
No, hold on, wait. I'm gonna tell you because your face got cracked. You thought he was. I'm gonna be honest. She walked into that. You took so long to answer. What did
Hmm.
you expect the brother to say? Oh yeah, sure. We're gonna be the perfect match in bed.
It's gonna be
No,
fireworks.
right? Come on. So if you ask that, it's a woman standing there, and your guy is there or whatever, and you took that long. Now I do understand her point by saying it is not. She should have said to me, in my opinion, Brittany should have said, honestly, I'm not comfortable talking about the type of stuff. It's not any of your business. I would say the most polite. I would try to say it the most politeful way. but I wouldn't have taken as long to answer. And I would have probably pulled him to the side or had us have a conversation. I want to tell you why I did that. I didn't feel comfortable with that. To me, that's intimate. That's our business. But this is how I feel. Da da da. Something like that.
Well, here's the thing. She
Go ahead.
tried to get away with I don't know. They forced her to answer yes or no. So then, like, she gave her good reasoning of why she eventually said yes, because she didn't want to hurt his feelings, and she felt like they were cool enough that he would respect her feelings. But then he like, well, damn, I'm sitting up here, I done made you crab legs and
Mhm.
lobster, and this is that and the third and all that, right? So I am being respect. I heard what you said. I'm being respectful of your feelings, but you sat up here and took 40 days and 40 nights to answer the question. So I'm gonna say was real. And then she felt like her feelings wasn't being respected, or they should have fake answers like everybody else. And she got in her feelings, but at the end of the day, she shouldn't have been in her feelings, because everybody in America and they dog knows she don't want that man.
100%. That's why I said to me, you got your face cracked. You worry about his feelings, and then she gonna say, "Well, I always spare his feelings." In my opinion, I don't see that. All I see is her saying no, and I don't want to sound bad because I'm saying every woman has a right to say no to a man. Period. Right? But I feel like you are baiting and switch with him. Like, oh, I'll go to dinner at your house. I know she didn't know at first. I'm just saying, but you was there. I will have this. I will do all this stuff, whatever. But you don't actually like him. You're not attracted to him. You see him as your bestie, your best friend, your pen pal for the summer. But that is not your man. You don't look that way. I mean, you don't look at him that way. You found your man in Cisco who belonged to somebody else. So to me, I feel like she's putting on a lot of fake ass shit to me because I feel like you can't get upset and gaslight and do this whole season of this and not expect for it to blow up. That's like putting a whole bunch of gasoline and all kind of shit at the bottom and then wonder why it blew it up and say, "Oh, I know it's gonna happen." You did that. I'm sorry. So I don't feel bad for Brittany and none of this. Not even the next episode. That's why I was asking you about Jay going off on her. We don't know what was said, obviously, but I'm saying that's why I was asking you earlier. Do you think that is right? Because some people are gonna probably say Jay wrong. I know somebody gonna say that Jay was wrong
I
for that.
mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I'm not. Everybody can see it
Mm-hmm.
from different perspectives, but well, we saw the what you call it, the internet exchange, and it's definitely it's some heat going down.
It is. It is. And again, we called it out anyway about all of that stuff. So Jared's situation is a mess. He just wanted to bone her, and she's hurt, and I understand why she's hurt. Even though Charlie knows what's going on, like you said, when with women, we can sometimes get roped in that D and just forget everything. God love how she checked the shit and said, "Look, I don't need a man. In fact, I make more money than you, baby." I was like, done. I was like, you better, girl. I love that whole entire scene when she said that because it's like, I don't want because the way, like you said, the way he painted that picture, as far as Charlie and whatever, he painted it badly. So I agree with you with that. So when she was able to say, "No, this was what it was," to the sister, "No, I make more money than him. I work. I don't need a man." But I do like what the sister said, and this is reality. You can hide things from your man or whatever, small stuff, but how do you hide a whole child? That's
Three.
three babies. And to me, I can't respect that. And for him, the same
No.
thing. I don't get it. How do you hide your child? Because she's talking about, well, I'm a single woman with kids. Y'all chose to have all those children.
Right. And
I'm
here's
sorry.
another thing. Even though you are financially capable of taking
Mhm.
care of all of your kids, it is unrealistic to believe that a man is going to be in the house with you and not have some type of responsibility for those children, whether it
Mhm.
be financially, disciplinary, physically dropping them off at school or picking them
Emotional.
up, or
Mhm.
becoming emotionally
Yes,
attached to the children. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So it's not feasible, to be in a house. Let's just say he didn't have no kids,
Okay.
right? And he come and y'all decide to live together. So you think If your child fall off the couch and break his arm, he just gonna walk past eating his
Period.
bowl of cereals
Hmm.
and be like, Charlie, your kid over here with a broken arm. All right, I'm finna go play the game.
Period.
It's not realistic at
Mhm.
all.
It's not.
And
It's
then compound the fact that he has two kids, which are probably by women um that lived where he lived. So now you asking this man to come uproot his life, live in a house with you and your four kids, and now he only get his kids on breaks and summer and holidays and stuff.
mhm.
So it's not realistic, especially if he can see his kids on a daily, weekly basis, to
Mhm.
uproot this man to be planted in a house with your four kids. But you don't want him to do nothing for your kids. You just want him to be there for you. It's not realistic.
Right. It's not because, like you said, people do get attached. I don't care unless it's just a cold-hearted robot. They're gonna
Right.
get attached or something like that. So, they didn't really show much of Kiki. Not really.
Mm-mm.
And I don't know what's gonna happen in this next coming
I don't think
episode.
everybody gets like
Right.
they had so many episodes with the whole drinking thing, and now Kiki and Brandon is cool, so they giving them a rest to kind of build, and then we see them next week, and I mean it's kind of hard with right now they got five relationships on the line, right, and they started out with seven, so we already had two couples go home, right,
Well,
right.
yeah, but I'm thinking the next couple going. Well, I'm
Who
thinking to
went
me.
home first? Dang, I forgot about them.
Shit. Um, girl. Actually, I don't even remember, and that's sad.
I just remember Clay and Tati, but I
That's all I
remember
remember. Somebody did leave. This is what people don't understand, that when we get through this show, that a lot of time you guys are not memorable people. Not everybody. No shade. I'm just saying. I'm sorry.
right. So
I
now it's
forget.
kind of hard to get five touches on a serious issues or whatever. Which you can see lately, they've been kind of splitting it up to maybe two or three major issues per
Yes.
couple per
Yes.
episode.
Yes.
So
They're doing. I think they're doing pretty good as far as the different relationships. It is a lot of people in the house now. The Ty and situation with Brittany has been coming for a while, in my opinion. The blow up now. So they're showing Chris and old girl with the relationship therapist and all this kind of stuff. So, in my opinion, after hearing the therapist, I feel like they still not. But I guess she tried to let's go ahead and go boxing because his thing is he likes to be athletic, and he mentioned that he wanted her to work on her. I mean, not in a mean way, but he said, get in shape. He said it to the friend or whatever. But I'm pretty sure she told her, like, girl, pretty much she's saying he wants you to work on your weight. And because of the fact that he is an athlete, guys who work out most of the time do want a woman that can kind of match that, especially as far as physical. Are you work out, you do your health, some kind of something. So for him, he was just like, yeah, I like her, but I want her to get in shape. I love that for Chris because Chris was being real about that as a man, right? Some men would be too uncomfortable or not want to or be afraid to tell their woman or whoever they're dating, like, look, I love you, but I want you to get more healthier. Because women gonna take it bad, trying to call me
hmm,
fat. You know what I'm saying?
Alicia and Irvin, that's who went home first.
Alicia and Irvin. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the. Yeah, they need to go immediately. They need to go Billy Bad.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, the date I thought was a good idea for creating the boxing date with him and da da da. That was a good idea. It seemed like he really enjoyed it. He was having a good time. It seemed like she was kind of not doing too much. She was a little, but whatever. But for him, it seemed like he was in his element. He was happy. So that part was cool. Now after that, it mostly was literally about, I feel like, Ty and Brittany and a big argument that they had. So let's talk about that. Hand in the face. You thought about the argument.
Oh,
That was
I
crazy.
you don't do all that. I mean, with anybody.
Mhm.
Because that's being in a personal space and whatnot. And then and I'm just playing devil's advocate because again, I don't think no man should put their hands on any woman. But if you put yourself in the man's place, like you got your hands all up in this grown man's face, and truth be told, y'all don't know, y'all been cupcaking online for however long each time these couples been cupcaking, and you ain't seen them get mad. You ain't seen somebody bump into in the club and spill a drink on their J's. You ain't seen all that. So you got your hands all up in this man's face, and really you don't know his temper level, his level of crazy, or whatever. You got camera all in this man's face, and like I said, you shouldn't do that to nobody. I don't like it on none of the like the housewives or the basketball wives, none of that, when they be putting their hands up in people's faces, because that's too close for you to be able to hit me.
Right. Now, I will say that personal space, I do agree with that. I do not like when people get in my personal space just me, period. And putting your hand in a man's face will trigger, because the thing about it is most sons are being told, don't hit your girl, don't, growing up. So to me, it's like you're putting him in a position, like, what do you want him to do? You're putting your hand in his face. He's going to want to defend himself, but he can't do that because you are a woman. So what are you doing? You
Right.
can talk to him without putting your hand in his face. You can say whatever you got to say without putting your hand in. Because to me, she was the aggressor in that conversation. Now, Ty, I will give you this, sir. When can I talk? When can I talk? Baby, let me tell you something. I would have been like, I'm done. I'm not doing it. And I'm just going to be honest. That was too much. I felt like him doing that. She would let her say what she had to say. Let her talk. Then you said you have to say. You didn't have to do all that. You made it. You just pushed it to the gasoline on the fire that was burning a little bit. Your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I mean, he was being petty, but they was matching each other's energy.
So I watched the scene again before we went live, and I watched it. Ty started that, and that's what pissed her off. She was already pissed off already, right?
Hmm.
You're already upset. Then you got Ty saying all these. Can I talk? You might allowed to talk about all that stuff. That was too much. I'm sorry, it was, and that's what actually sparked.
That's when you know that you fed up with somebody, and everything the other person does, it annoys you.
Yes, pretty much. Um. Okay, so that whole thing with Ty and her, what I'm saying, I thought was it just really showed that there's no compatibility, that they don't like each other, and it's a waste of everybody's time, in my opinion. I'm sorry, it really is. It's a waste. So who's left? I mean, what did anything else happen that we missed? Because this episode was super boring. I'm sorry for the writer.
No,
So we got everything, really?
I believe so. Hold on, let me go back to my notes.
Because the next episode, I feel like it's gonna give us everything that we needed more.
All right, we can talk about that because yeah, we did the whole time Brittany, the whole sister conversation. Oh, we didn't talk about Chris's childhood traumas with his 8 stepmamas and stepdaddies between his parents and their date.
So what I will say about that, when I first interviewed Chris, he spoke about his father. It seemed like it was an important relationship. Like, talking about, I forgot we was talking about. He has like a his dad then does a studio and all kind of different things, whatever. And we talked about it. He was even offering for me to do interviews at his dad's studio. So his dad is in his life is really important. So when he brought him up, I was like, okay, this makes sense. But the trauma, give me your thoughts about that.
I fully understand where he's coming from, considering, my dad is on his fourth marriage. We don't want to talk about all the honey bunnies in between. And my mama had 3 marriages. So yeah, I get it.
Damn. Okay, so
But
do
they were
you,
never married to each other.
that's hilarious. So in your well, so you really get it then. So
I
what?
100% get it because it's like, well, it's a control dynamic when a new person comes into the house, right? So say you're living with your dad and he has a new boo. So she's trying to get her place. So maybe his dad was controlling, like, I run this house, you an extra, play your role. And then when you with your mom and she gets a new man, now he's trying to control, I'm the man of the house, you gonna listen to me, you gonna do as I say type of deal. And so there's a power dynamic when you're attempting to blend families. So if he's saying I don't know which. Let's just say equally, right? Because he said 8 between his, stepmoms and stepdads. So his mama could have had 4 serious relationships. His daddy could have had 4 serious relationships. And there's a power dynamic there when a new person comes in trying to set the tone of the household, especially when a new man comes into the household with the woman being, you know what I'm saying, where in his mom's situation.
Okay,
I'd
so
almost be certain of that because every man that my mom was married to was, oh, I'm the man of the house. You gonna clean your room when I say you gonna clean
oh
your room.
wow.
And I'm
What
looking
the
at them
hell?
like, you is not my daddy. I ain't heard
Right.
nothing you said.
So no, that's what I was gonna ask. He's so stupid. That's why I was gonna ask you the controlling part that he had with her. His issue with that was he felt like she was a controlling person. I'm talking about old girl.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna say something. He said she's aggressive or whatever, whatever, and she owned it. What do you think about that whole scene? Because I didn't see that being resolved. Because I know I'm aggressive, and I know that I have a very alpha personality. So give me your thoughts about that.
Well, here's the thing. I like the fact that she owned it, but she did give, and she didn't give her the correct answer in the therapy session. She gave it later. Like she owned it, like, but she was like, "This is who I am." Like f with it or f off. But then in the diary confession, she was like, "Yeah, I'm assertive, I'm aggressive, but not that I can't be feminine." And that's what she should have said in therapy. Now, I will say, as a strong, independent black woman, as myself, it is very hard. And I tell people all the time, when you sitting up here and you paying $2,000-$3,000 worth of bills by yourself every month, I don't need no what you doing text. I need a meet me at the airport with your passport text. So, because what you doing, I'm paying bills. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to work. That's what I'm doing. How are you gonna alleviate stress, because I got all of this other stuff taken care of. And so I feel like, just like her in some ways, we so, I put it like this. I have said, and I'm going to sum it up and be done with it. I have said many a times, I'm tired of being a real nigga. I want to be a princess. That's it.
Same, same here. But the problem is we are conditioned to be hard,
Hmm.
aggressive, and shoulder so much that when a man says, "I want you to be soft," we're like, "What is that?"
Not more or less like, what is that? I think
No,
it's
no, no. Hold
more,
on. I'm not being fun. I'm
yeah,
being
I
sarcastic.
feel what you're
No,
saying.
no. I know what it is, but to me, sometimes it's like you. Okay, you made a statement. You said you pay all that. You pay all that. For me, I've gone back and forth. I grew up as far as my dad taking care of myself, my mom, whatever. But I ended up getting married and then ended up being single one more time, and I was a single mom. The single mom road, and I know you wore that crown as well.
Yes.
That's some rough ass shit. When you are a single mom trying to get everything done, and all you got in your corner is your mama, and of course you have the father of the kids, but still, most of the things run on you. Now, the father of my children. I'm back with him now. He's a good father. He is an awesome man. But we had issues, and we weren't together, right? So
Right.
I was a single mom trying to do it all. And
Hmm.
I'm not the only one of so many women that could tell stories. Now I was blessed to have him and my mom, but girl, it was still rough.
Yep.
Kids got band camp, all kind of shit. I had two
Football
kids.
camp,
Girl, I had
cheerleading
two
camp.
kids football. One daughter was in a band. The money, and my son was in track, Olympics type track. The money
Hmm.
was like $200-$300, and
Girl,
that's
cheer camp was $600
it.
every summer.
Baby, band is the most expensive. I don't care about sport. I don't know what you call it, but when I looked at my receipts at the end, I was like, oh my god, band is the most expensive and
Hmm.
track. So I don't know. The point I'm trying to make is that that's a hard hat to wear, which I've
Hmm.
worn it. You've worn it. Many women, black women, white, whatever, have worn it. It's just rough. Is all I'm
And
trying
it's
to say.
hard to hit the light switch because
Yeah,
you're in the
exactly.
mode of, oh, the grass needs to be cut. Either
Yes,
I'm gonna
ma'am.
do it or I'm gonna pay it. Oh, the sink need to be fixed.
Come
Either
on
I'm gonna
now.
do
Come on
it or
now.
I'm gonna pay it. And then you get with a man and you be like, oh, the sink, da da da, and you come home from work and the sink still messed up. So either you gonna do it or you gonna pay it, because that's the mode. We're fixers by nature. We fix things. What they say, if you give us a house, we'll make it a home. We're multipliers. We fix stuff. We're nurturers. That's in our nature. So, and then when you've been in, I got everything on my own 5, 10, 20 years. If I come home, my grass ain't cut, let me call somebody.
My mom was like, see this thing about it, like you didn't. My mama was like that. Even though my mama was married, my dad was there. She was a very independent woman. My dad was a very strong man. He, paid bills. She also worked as well, but she was very independent. Like if my dad was like, "Oh, I'm tired. I don't feel like painting this room," baby. The next morning he would get up, it'd be done. He'd be like, "Who did this?" Me and the girls. When I say girl, myself, my sister, and I was raised by her, where she was like, "Look,
Hmm.
don't wait for anybody." And that's your daddy. I love him, but don't wait. That's how she
And
raised
not
me.
only that, that's respecting his space. Because why are you going to sit there and nag him knowing he didn't work the 12, 14-hour day and he don't have no energy left?
Well, hold on. Let me tell you this. Both my parents worked, and so my mother would work 12-hour shifts too.
Hmm.
But my mother was a coordinator, and my daddy was like, "Cause I'm men. You know how men are. Men will get the point. I don't feel like doing it, whatever." If my mom and dad both worked that weekend, and my dad was like, "Hey, I'll get to it Tuesday or whatever," like I said, he would go to bed for a nap. She would
Hmm.
come gather my sister and myself and say, "Hey, well,
We
come to
finna
the
get it
living room.
done.
Hey, you come to the living room because we finna get busy. What's going on, mama? We finna paint this and this happened for real. We finna paint this laundry room." And again, I'm happy I was raised with that, that woman, my mother, who was so strong to say, yeah, I have a job. We're both working, but I don't want to. We're gonna do it ourselves. Now, with that being said, when you are with a man, you do feel compelled, like you just said. And I love how you sit there, Dina. You come home and thinking this is done. It's not done. And see, you have, and you also you love your daddy. So I know for you, it's the same thing for me. The struggle. If a man is not doing those things your dad did for you, that also hits. Dina, tell me, is that? For, I don't assume. Is that the same for you?
Oh yeah, because my daddy used to take me out to eat at expensive restaurants at a young age. We would have our daddy daughter dates, and to this day, I go and eat by myself. I don't, hey, don't be trying to take me to Sonic when I didn't been to Papados. I'm not that chick that wants you to take me somewhere to eat because I can't afford to go there without somebody taking me. You know what I'm saying? And so I think it sets the precedence of, even with my children, we always went to nice restaurants. And when they were little, we traveled when they were little. And you can see my kids now, they be traveling all over the world, going to games
Oh
and stuff
yes,
because I
yes, yes.
exposed them to that life.
Mhm.
My son, diehard New Orleans Saints fan, we going down there to watch a game here and there. Like, yeah, I exposed them to things like you don't need somebody to take you to do these things, but if they finna come to the table, they need to bring what you already got, at least at the bare minimum.
The thing about it, I will say this for the black men who are good men. Father's Day is coming up. Like Reggie is a good guy. Dina has met him. Reggie is a really good guy.
Yeah,
And
he's super nice.
my dad is a hard shoe to fill because my dad came from old school before before all these new things. And my dad took care of my mother from the beginning. And I mean beginning when they got married. He moved to California, was a military man, and my mother ended up having me and then my sister. My mother didn't have to worry about anything. Now, mind you, my dad got to the military. He was a smart man. He was really good at math. So he was really up there in ranks as far as the military. And we had a great life, right? Military helped him. Black men in the 70s would struggle because it still was the 70s. My dad was
Hmm.
smart and went to the military where he went got his education, and he was able to go to the military where he was able to also marry my mother and then have two kids with her and build a whole life based on that foundation. And I know Dina's daddy was an awesome daddy to her. She still loves her daddy to this day. My dad no longer here, but me and Dina are alike with that because
Hmm.
we love our daddies and we got to take care of very, very well. So I do wonder sometimes, that the expectation that we have because of the way we were raised and what we got from our dad, like you said, if you the dates, my dad would take my sister and myself to movies in the summertime, dates, all kind of stuff. And so you had that foundation.
Mm-hmm.
We had that foundation. You know how people say, oh, black women, well, Dina and myself had that. And so then where do we go from here? When you had that foundation laid of a good father who raised you and showed you black men can do this. I had a hustle lifestyle, a hustle childhood growing up, kind of corny as it might sound. I had it. So Dina, I'm talking to you and myself and the people in the chat, whoever's listening. 'Cause 33 people are here watching right now. Where do you go from there if that's how you were raised and you had all that, and then you fall in love, and that man doesn't have that? Now Reggie, I will say this: Reggie was close with my dad as well. So to me, I love that for him because he was able to be around my dad for years, years,
Mm-hmm.
and
Soaking in that good energy.
right. And Reggie is a good dude. So for you, Dina, who also had a great childhood, a great dad who's still here, blessings. Your thoughts, because some of these women, you think I'm not judging them, it's nothing like that. But we can come from a different place because some women I talk to who don't have that experience have different experiences, not necessarily negative all the time, but it's different. What are your thoughts?
Well, I will say this. It's like everything has its good and its bad. Growing up or whatever, there's good and bad. And
Right.
I think a lot of people take the negatives from their childhood and build on instead of the positive. Don't
Mm.
get me wrong, I love my parents to death. I felt like there were some things they did wrong, so I never did that with my kids. But the things they did right, I built on that. But a lot of
Mhm,
people are the
mhm,
opposite. So you have to really sit back and look at yourself as far as when you come into adulthood, what kind of life you want to present to your children. I was married once before for about 7 years, and I have elected not to do that since. But I'm not opposed to it, but so
mhm,
far it's just not been the right situation. But I do feel like my level, the bar has been set a lot
okay,
higher
mhm,
at this point, and so I kind of wish I would have got there sooner.
okay.
But I do feel like a lot of people are broken, and they think being in a relationship will fix their brokenness, but
Mm.
that person is also broken, and they're not unpacking their baggage. Like, I'm
Yes,
not
ma'am.
saying two broken people can't work,
Right.
but you got to unpack the baggage and unpack the triggers, unpack the trauma, and then see if you can move forward with that.
So Dina, what I'm saying is okay. So what I'm saying is you did, even though your parents had things going on, your dad to me did his
Yes,
job. No, I'm saying he
yes,
did his job
he did
because
his
he
job.
he took you daddy, the things that I've talked about behind the scenes, your dad did what he's supposed to do.
And
So
you're
you
right about the whole
and you
70s thing, because my dad was an entrepreneur. He
right.
couldn't really get into the business aspect of, corporate America, because that wasn't an option.
Look, hold on. Let me tell you something. When my dad was growing up, my dad was a smart black young man. Math was his top thing. So most schools, normally get that whatever. They took my dad's scholarship when he was younger because he was black, and when a small town I'm from. My grandmother went to the school to try to fight. My grandmother was like maybe 4 foot. She had 16 kids. She tried and it just didn't happen. So my dad decided I'm going to change my own narrative. I want to get married, my mother, and I want to have children. My mother was like, we get married. My dad took her to California and then they had me. And I'm really happy that my childhood was, and people used to call me like, oh, you think you're above. I did not have that lifestyle where it was a struggle for me. I had a
Hmm.
lifestyle where my parents took care of everything and it was good. I can't, say anything less than that. And that's fine. I was blessed.
Hmm.
Your dad to me raised you. That's why your expectations are so high as far as men because your dad did his job. I'm just
Yes.
gonna be honest.
And I think that that's a beautiful thing.
It is very much
And
so.
because when you see a good, hardworking man that made something out of nothing, like you said, your dad changed his narrative. My dad also changed his narrative. He was like, "Well, if you're not gonna let me work in your business, I'm gonna just own my own business."
Mhm.
So I think once a bar gets set, so where it's so high, but then again, that was the 70s. We're in 2025 now. And I've seen so many memes, and men are in their sassy era, their own princess era. They want to be taken care of and all this other stuff. And that's just not the person for you. There's still some good, strong, valuable men out there. But I think in this day and age, everybody wants an instant relationship. Just add water and put it in the microwave for
Yes,
1 minute.
ma'am.
Boom,
Hmm.
relationship.
Hmm.
That's what they want, but that's not the reality.
It's not, and it's unfortunate. Me myself, like I said, instead of going up there against something new, I went back to my ex, and I'm
Because
blessed.
ain't nothing out there in them streets, honey.
I'm blessed for that because I've had 3 kids with this man. He knows my parents, my dad. I know he's deceased, but he knows everything about me. He when he saw me, I had just left high school, so he was able to go back to the high school with me to see where I was. It's a lot of history with this man. So, and to me, and I love him. To me, it's like, why would I be searching on the internet or trying to find somebody new who gonna now? All you got these scammers out here. You got, you
Girl,
know,
stick with the devil, you know.
look, well, see what Dina, she to me, Dina's a good woman. She's my girl, that's my sister. And I look at her like as a good, smart woman, business minded, everything. A man would be happy to have her. But because the way her dad raised her and loved her, she's and her own personal past experience. I'm not talking for you, I'm just saying from my observation.
Hmm.
She's not gonna just take anything because she did been there, done that. She was
Right.
young, like we all were, and her dad raised, even though your dad raised you, we still mess up. We still be
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
every now and then. Don't get me wrong. I didn't been in La La Land before too. But boy,
same
when I
here.
wake up, I feel sorry for you, player. But I mean, we all want the happily ever after, and
Mhm.
sometimes it's achievable, and sometimes you just gotta go get you a dog.
I got a dog and I got him. Like I said, Lord, if we break up, I don't know what we're gonna do. That dog is my child. Look, didn't know that the Apollo, because you met Apollo when I first got him. He
Oh,
was a
his
baby.
cute tail.
But Apollo was through Reggie. He wanted to adopt, but now I love him. That's my son. That's my son.
Mhm.
That's my son. Like when Reggie, he'll say stuff like, oh, your son is doing this. That's my son. I always say I have an extra child.
Uh-huh.
When you see his page, I'll say his brother, like my son came by to see him. That's his brother. That's my kid. So and Dina and her daughter Lee, which I know Lee T, pets to them is very important. Dina don't play by her dog. She
Mm-mm.
not, man, let me tell you something. That dog would be in a hotel,
He go to
whatever,
the resort.
baby.
He
She,
go to the spa to get his bath and nails done. And matter of fact, not just sometime last year, I was attempting to talk to somebody, and he said, "You love that dog more than you love me." I said, "On every day of the week and twice on Sunday."
look, it is what it is. They better
It
figure it
is what
out.
it is. So you better get in line.
And see now, look, now she said that to me. My dog is turning a year in July, and so now because she said this is my source for lots of, I want to ask her. I want to do something for her special, and I want to get him treated. So you already gave me an idea. I want to get his nails. I don't know who I'm gonna call, but probably you.
Mm, I got you. We gonna have Apollo hooked up
So y'all have to understand, these are my family for real, for real. People outside of this, she been to my house. She been my man
several times.
and my dog and my family, my mother, who I let nobody see. She been my mother and my sister and my kids. She been my core family. So that's how I'm telling y'all when I say that she my people. I would probably go to war for Dina, but that's my
And I
girl.
would go to war for you too, because
Cause
I have on
baby,
numerous.
she
We go
has.
to war for each other, baby. Don't play with my.
All I know, Dina, if Susan called me to me, oh my god, if she called me crying, it would be a wrap for me. I ain't gonna lie to you. If she ever called me crying, it's a wrap for me. I'm broke. Let me call. Who I need to borrow money for? Either I'm doing an Uber or I'm getting on a plane because Dina is crying, and that's a strong ass bitch. And I'm going down there, and I'm going there with shorts and t-shirt because I'm getting off the plane ready to squab with whoever hasn't.
Look, I got my Vaseline, my tennis shoes. It's on it. Pop it.
And I'm a Louisiana girl, so I don't need none of that. So whoever for the fight gonna get it. It's the thing about it, and I'm not bragging about it, but fighting is something I know how to do very, very well. Ain't done a while, baby. It's like riding a
Man, you
bike.
and me
It's
both.
nothing.
But hey, it's like a bike. When riding a bike, you might not be done it for a while, but you ain't gonna forget. But that's the great kind of love and like family hospitality. and things that were, being from the South, like, when we had that one interview, people don't understand, like, being from the South, the whole
One
stand by
interview.
your
Wow.
man, the whole stand by your family, the whole work it out, like, it's got to be detrimental to the ends of the earth to get divorced type
Yep.
deal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the things that was instilled in us. But like I said, it's 2025 now, and it's instant relationship, instant
It
breakup,
is.
instant gratification. And if I'm not getting what I want, I'm ready to move on to the next person instead of working it out. And I think that's where, and I'm not whatever generation, I'm not saying generation X, Z, or Y, because it encompasses all the generations. It's a mentality of, I can get what I want right now.
So this is a side note I want to say. So watching Chris and the exercise thing for me,
Hmm.
right? Even though pictures were posted of me, um, and I still look good. Let me rephrase that. But I was a larger size. And even at that size, I love myself. I've never had an issue
Hmm.
with being nothing. I'm not saying I'm that 300 pound, but I'm just saying I never had an issue with nothing. Now, I only lost, let me see how much weight am I lost. Wow, almost 50 pounds I've lost now. Nobody has seen me, by the way. Nobody has seen me, and I purposely have moved that way. I've lost, even Dina hasn't seen me. She ain't seen me since holidays. But if she
Right.
saw me now, she'd be like, oh my God. So I lost 50 pounds. Damn near. After the mini stroke I had. And so people don't know all the details. So people can post pictures of me 2 years ago, a year ago. But baby, if you post them now, you will not believe how snatched I am. I love that for me.
Yes,
I,
ma'am.
I love that for me, and I can't wait to reveal when I'm ready. When I'm ready. My birthday's in July. I'm thinking about revealing things, but the thing about it is this health journey I've been on has been more than just a health. It's been a mental thing too, because I have not seen myself this small in a very long time. It's a little scary, but I'm very proud of myself and what I've accomplished. Right? I really am
Where's the
proud.
little applause? Because we got to give you your applause.
Well, really, I don't. I don't make.
I know, but I'm just saying it, and it takes hard. That's a lot of things people don't understand. It takes commitment.
It
It
does.
takes hard work and dedication, because you're just not gonna eat carrots for a week and drop 50 pounds.
There you go.
And so, but I will say, I'm meant to say this. You could tell, because Chris has made comments about maybe her not being able to exercise or not
Okay.
being fit. I
Mhm.
did see a change in his face. Whether this relationship was fake or not, I don't give a
Mhm.
fuck. But in the moment on TV, his face lit up that she was willing to do an activity in
Right.
his wheelhouse.
Right. That would be for any man or anybody. If
Yeah.
you are dating somebody and say for instance, Danny, you dated somebody and he found out you did, YouTube or whatever, and even the stuff you had with the, because see, Dina has her own story, which I love for her and hate for her, because she has her own internet story because Zeus took two of her channels, two of her channels.
Two of my channels.
So to me, I feel like Dina has a story to tell. And I've been trying to figure out for like months how I want to suggest to her to, because to me it's a story, and I don't know how I want to play this, but I have been thinking about for a long time re-interviewing Dina. Which I don't understand is that my first encounter with her was an interview. We talked, of course, behind the scenes, but it was literally an interview. That's how me and her relationship started. And
Mhm.
so sometimes I be thinking
And it's still on the playlist with over
it is,
47,000
period.
views.
Well, so now I literally be thinking I want to interview her again to do catch up, all these things, and then talk about this whole thing with Zeus, because to me, Zeus did her super dirty, and no one talks about other content creators who are being done as dirty. So I said all that is to say that she has a story. And I want you guys to follow her. She's a great content creator. I knew that from the jump, and she had her content was so good that people would just like it and subscribe to her channel because of her. So I'm telling you, her content is really good. And this is a frustrating topic for me because I helped her get in the game and the game fucked her. And so, excuse my
Right.
language, I get frustrated sometimes
Yeah,
about the
because
channel.
the
She was
first
on it.
channel Zeus took was 949 subscribers right before, with the old mechanism, right
Right.
before I was about to get monetized. It wasn't under the 500. And the second channel they took, I had 249,
She
50,
was so
somewhere
close.
around followers. So I was halfway
And she was
to
moving up fast too.
monetize. mark, and
Mhm.
they took that channel.
So Dina's frustrated with the channel, and I haven't talked to her about it. And we're, me and her talking live behind the scene. Doesn't matter. We're transparent. Period. But this been bothering me.
It's
So
been
I don't.
bothering me too
Well,
because
I know.
I
I
got
know.
a whole channel sitting here, a new channel, and I
Mhm.
don't know what to do with it because every time I would have thousands of other shows on there, but the second I talk about Zeus, they would take my channel.
That's why, to me, it's like I'm trying to figure out what I want to do, because I really want to expose all this, but at the same time, I'm being careful because I don't want her channel too associated with Zeus. That's why I really haven't, come to her about. I'm telling her this now, but we're gonna figure out something because I want her this channel that she has now to grow. So we're gonna work this out. We're gonna figure it out.
We gonna figure it out.
So as far
We're
as
taking suggestions in the chat because I travel a lot. I'm in the hospitality industry.
well,
That
to
can
me,
count.
that's what
Yeah.
I want her to do. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. To me, Dina and her daughter, but talking about Dina, period, she can plan anything. She has adventures at her own job. When I tell you, yeah, she over
And I
even.
also plan weddings and events and special occasions.
So to me, I really would like for her channel to be that. I would like for her channel to be, this a day in life hospitality, like the show that they put on Hulu. I told your
Hmm.
daughter about it.
You know what I was thinking about?
Do you watch that show?
Yeah. You know what I think we should do? We
You
should
know what I'm talking about.
document me planning your wedding.
No, we're gonna do that. We are gonna do that. I'm documenting everything once I get started. But what I'm saying, I'm talking about this show, what's it called? The show,
Vanderpump Rules.
So to me, you should be on the show, and they actually are casting for the next season. But I didn't think you would want to do that. They're casting for the next season. You would ace that. All them kids be messing up everything and getting drunk, acting a fool. I can see you saying, "I'm drunk, but I'm not acting a fool," and the customers being taken care of because they
I
have
do
that
my
care.
best work when I'm a little bit lit.
I already know. What I'm saying is, you would cuss the kids out. You be like, y'all all effing each other and arguing. I didn't
I would
serve
pop
the.
them in line, honey.
I didn't serve the guests. Took care of everybody. They can hear y'all outside here. All I'm telling Vanderbilt. I can see it.
Honey, I run a tight ship. There's plenty of room to play. And y'all know, and if anybody's been following us since 2021, y'all know we like to get together and go to the premieres and we know how to party. But you got to
Yes, we
do
do.
what you got to do
Yes,
so you can
ma'am.
do what you want to do later.
Well, to me, I think that would be a good idea. As far as things you plan, things you do, start uploading them on your channel. I mean, I don't know how you want to do it. Even if it's you coming to a hotel, this is the first time being this hotel. First of all, this is wrong, and I know Dina, she would say that this is wrong. How they have this the bed? This is wrong.
As
No,
long as
no.
it's not the company I work for, because we cannot say nothing about them on social media.
Well, I get that, but I'm saying if they send you somewhere and you're visiting another.
Yeah. Any other hotel but the brand I work for, I would definitely
So
do
I
that.
think Dina should do hotel
Hotel reviews.
reviews because people don't realize this. Hotel reviews, YouTubers, I found one on an accident. Baby, the videos they have, sky high. Because people go travel all the time and they want to find out how's this room. It's not many
Right,
out
because
there.
the pictures online, that's the crazy part. 90% of the time, what you see online is what you get in person. But there's that 10% that got them pictures on there from when that hotel first opened, and now it's 20 years old, and you get there, and it's a
See,
scary difference.
I didn't even know that. This is
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying. Dina, you need to be doing this type of videos. Like when you just said it just now, I was like, oh shit. 'Cause
Mm-hmm.
when I,
I think
hold
I'm gonna start doing
on,
that.
I'm gonna tell you something. My trip to New York that I did for CBS, Dina had me planning that whole entire trip. And I had the best time. And literally, it's almost like she walked me to New York because literally everything she said was correct. Even Lee helped me a little bit with the Uber. All everything that they both told me was 100%. It's like almost like Dina was with me. Everything was right. Everything. The only thing I hated
I've
was
been
the
to New
Uber.
York
It was
like
ridiculous.
6 times.
I have not. So when I
I
talked
was
to
right
Dina,
there with you, holding your hand in
she was
spirit.
when I called Dina. Nina was asleep, but she was cranky because waking her up in the morning time is horrible. But I needed her badly. So she, my sister, and I knew she was gonna do it. I knew she was pissed off the whole time, but she did it anyway. So she hit me with my room, in fact, the plane ticket and the room. And I didn't tell you this. When I got to the room, I got free drink because the hotel had some kind of there's a club next door, whatever it was, a bar. I got 2 free drinks. So I'm telling you, I had the best time, and she planned it. So yes, I want your channel to be that hotel reviews, planning trips. I think that would be best for your channel because you're so good at this. Dina. You really are, and you should do it on.
27 years in the game, y'all. 27 years in the hospitality
And
industry.
that should be in your bio. So we've already made a decision. And I mean, I mean, mostly me. That,
I agree. I second the motion.
I think that she's very good. Y'all have to understand. When I went to New York, I was petrified. I had never been there before. Plane ride, even though I grew up in the military, I hadn't been on a plane ride in over 10, 15, 20 years of my life. And she said everything up so good. And she couldn't control the plane ride. It was terminals the whole time. But again, she was texting me and Lee the entire time because I was freaked out the entire plane ride. And I tell you, she supported me through the whole thing. Even when I got to Kamisha, you go to New York, the room, this picture looks like this. Your room gonna be this size. And everything she said was right. I never told her this. Everything she said was right. So yes,
Because that's what I do.
that should be your channel. I think your channel would really do well because again, people who don't travel a lot, they go to YouTube and they look up hotels, they look up different things about travel, and you can do do's and don'ts. When you're going on airplane, when you go to a new hotel, don't do this. When you
Yeah.
plan this, you should do a lot of do's and don'ts about traveling, planning. That would be 10,000 videos for you right there already. Just do's and don'ts.
Yep.
I'm
And I
excited
need
for
to
you.
and I need to like really go and curate and do a video on my Curacao birthday trip because that was awesome and amazing. The hotel was amazing. So I really need to I was doing that in the process of doing that in Curacao when Raggedy Ass Zeus took my channel and I
Good
never
channel.
got to post it.
So that video could be your welcome. You know, you do your welcome video. YouTube that could be
Mhm.
your first video, and then from there you can start
Yep.
because you
And I'm
have those
doing this
videos
San
already.
Diego Friday, next Friday.
So the video that you have from your trip, I'll post that first. But this time going Friday, when you go next Friday when you go traveling, I will
Mhm.
start doing some like selfie videos. Hey, I'm going on a plane already. I see this going on. Don't
Mhm.
freak out. And then people are scared to fly right now. So you filming yourself going on different things, do all that stuff would be really really good. How to check in. I would do little small little clip videos, shorts.
Mhm.
The video that I have that's monetized now, the other channel, is because I literally posted shorts every day,
Yep.
hardly nothing else. So just post shorts of your next trip and then the trip for your birthday.
For sure. All right. Do we got any final thoughts on this? Is it almost over?
I don't have any final thoughts. I think we have one more episode. I don't know. I don't care about this show. It's really annoying, really draining. It reminds me of Put a Ring on It.
Mm-hmm.
It's super draining and ghetto, and it put me in a place where I was getting mad at people who are not important. So we're not doing that anymore. So anyway, with that being said, I gotta say anything else for you?
Nope. That's
Anything?
it. That's all I got.
All right, y'all. With that being said, this is Kamisha Reviews of Queen Reality TV. We have Dina, aka Christina, who is very excitedly coming back to us, but leaves us in the background. And I'm going to probably interview her separate from that to talk about Zeus. That being said, y'all know what it is. One thing I want you guys to know, and that nothing that will never change about this, I am the queen of reality TV. Don't get it twisted and don't doubt it.